The following is a Papi Chulo Radio original program. The views and opinions expressed in the commentaries and or interviews in the following program are solely of the individuals and are not the views of Papi Chulo Radio, its parent, affiliate, or subsidiary companies.
Welcome to Are You Afraid? Coven, the unofficial American Horror Story Coven internet radio show exclusively on Papi Chulo Radio. Today is Wednesday, January 22nd, 2014, and I am Papi Chulo. Here on Are You Afraid? Coven, we're going to recap, review, and dissect the latest episode of the hit FX series. So we're going to deliver directly to you the biggest news regarding American Horror Story Coven. You're going to get all of the casting scoops, episode titles, ratings reports, and spoilers during the latter half of the show. But don't worry, we're going to warn you with a spoiler alert. Please welcome my uber-talented co-host. First up, we have a man who loves him some Benadryl. It's Marshall Evans.
Oh, you are crazy. Hello. Like, what?
Next up, we have a woman who knows all about pruning shears. Cat's meow.
Ew, that's gross.
So insulting. I felt like Marshall got my introduction because I do like Benadryl. Like Benadryl, like I felt Spalding when he said it. I was like, yes, God, that is some magic. Because I take 2 of those and I knock myself the fuck out. Like, boom.
Yes, that
Hocus pocus, bibbity bobbity boo, antihistamine.
And last but not least, we have a man who last week thought Stevie Nicks was singing about Rihanna, Deadly. I still can't get over that.
She wasn't, no, man.
Rihanna. Unfortunately, Darielle is currently visiting with Papa Legba, but hopefully she'll be back next week.
Does she have to wear that dress for all eternity?
Yes. She actually will.
I miss my dad. I miss her.
Oh, well, she'll visit you
and
in your dreams.
She's gone, though. That's the crazy part. Like, she's for real gone.
Yeah, I'm so pissed off about that, though. So, anyway.
Well, let's jump into our recap of episode 311, which was titled Protect the Coven. I think they said that like 50 times during the episode.
I know.
And it aired on January 15th, 2014. Here's the official synopsis of the episode. Fiona and Laveau have a deadly face-off with the corporation. Cordelia makes a desperate sacrifice to protect the Coven. So without getting too deep into the episode, what was everyone's initial reaction to what happened? And we'll start off with the one who is most passionate about what's going on, Marshall.
No, my overall thing was what the fuck. Just period. Like, some stuff I was like, what the fuck? Like, in shock. And then some stuff I was like, what the fuck? Like, in disbelief. And then some points I was just like, what the fuck? Because it was just like, really? Y'all didn't know what the hell to do at this point, so y'all just wrote this shit? So, to me, this episode was the what the fuck episode.
Oh, is it my turn?
You can go ahead, because when I go to Spain and I see people partying, I thought to myself, what the fuck?
Like, it's weird.
Y'all know that song? That's what I was thinking as Marshall was saying that.
No, I thought this episode was a lot better than last week's because they didn't have a musical guest on that bitch. I was like,
She'll be back for the finale, don't worry.
No, don't you dare.
No, she really is, and she's singing again.
Oh my God! Like, really?
Well, there goes all the questions. They're going to be unanswered because Stevie Nicks is going to be singing. If that's what you want to call it, she's going to be like talking. But I thought it was okay. Like I'm gonna have to agree with Marshall. There was a lot of like WTF moments. Like what the heck? What is going on? Like I'm kind of mad, but I'm just happy there wasn't some like bitch that kind of looked like Patti LuPone's like sister taking up maybe 45 minutes of the episode. I can handle it. So it was aight.
Yeah, you know what? I can't take any more torturing Kathy Bates torturing people. I
Yeah.
can't take that no more.
Yeah.
That shit was bugging, and I want to know if Zoe and her Frank and Kyle are going to Disneyland or something. They're going to Orlando.
They're going to Walt Disney World. They're going
Disney
to Epcot.
Oh,
No, it was.
Which makes no sense.
yeah.
No, it doesn't.
They're going to like live in the Norway ride.
But I'm not gonna lie. I did picture Marshall's face at the end of this episode. And all I could think about, I'm like, I know Marshall's gonna have something. Like, I know he's probably gonna hate this episode, especially hate the ending.
Yeah,
so,
just like
all I saw was just your face, and I'm like, I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's not that I hated the episode, because some stuff was like, okay. You know what I mean? As we get into the episode, you'll see there's some things that I actually was like, okay, I got this. I love one of the characters coming back and how she came back. I love that. I love that there was an emotional pull for one of the characters that a lot of people would not have thought you would have an emotional pull. And so when she does a dramatic, it does affect in a bigger way than what you expected. So that was really good writing. But then there was some shit that was just like, really? Like Spalding. What the fuck? Why are you here? Why are you in the story? What the fuck is wrong with you?
You leave Dead Lee's best friend alone.
It doesn't make absolutely any sense for him to be there. And I'm like, are you a ghost, bitch? What the fuck are you?
Deadly has been bitching about his lack of Spalding for the past 5 weeks, so you leave Spalding alone.
No,
I want a live baby. I want a live baby like Spalding.
Right, but the thing is, if he's a ghost, then how the hell can he pick up a baby?
We're not even gonna get into that. Like, trust me, that was something that kept me awake.
If the other dude's a ghost, how can he wield an axe?
That's my whole point. Like, all the ghosts in the show are not ghosts. Like, they don't make any sense. People could see them.
When I imagine ghosts, I imagine spookish feet, like, I don't know, just something with sheets and holes. I'm confused. Like,
that's
why
the KKK.
are they like? No. I'm wondering why they're like actually interacting with these like ghosts. How, like, why is it that this is the Axeman a ghost? Is he
apparently
a person?
Knows how to,
like he's holding down a job. He's holding down a job in an apartment.
And he has sex.
Yeah, and he has sex. What ghost do that?
Well,
what
that's what I'm saying. And so,
Patrick Swayze and Ghost.
And also,
he could barely even talk to her without Whoopi. Where is Whoopi? Where is Oda Mae Brown? Where is she?
There was absolutely, and but you're speaking the truth. Like, I think it would have made sense had the ghost been able to possess someone. Okay, now I'm getting it. But no, these people are walking around in baby doll clothes and picking up children. They're wielding axe in office buildings. Like, there's just something. You know what? It just, it's the what the fuck episode. That's what it was. The what the fuck episode. Because just some stuff didn't make sense, and I feel like, yes, everything is being rushed. Period. I feel like they don't know where to go anymore. They're trying to sum up everything, and the reality is that I believe that these shows started going downhill after around the 4th or 5th episode. I just feel like it just started falling all apart.
Yeah, unfortunately, this season, unlike season 1, they did not explain sort of like the rules for the ghosts. Like in season 1, it was about the murder house, and the ghosts were tied to the house. Like, they could not leave the house. They couldn't leave the property. And it wasn't until Halloween that they could actually leave the property, but they had to return once the sun came up. So this season, they haven't really explained how ghosts work, because ghosts can walk into the village. They can walk into a Whole Foods and purchase some organic blueberries or something.
I know.
It doesn't really make sense, because, I mean, there are the people that have come back from the dead, and then there are just ghosts, period, who are sort of like people, and it just, I don't know. They are kind of rushed into the end, and it seems as if we got some, like, closure with at least one of the major storylines, I'm assuming. I don't know. Well, let's jump into the recap, and maybe we'll all make sense of what we saw together. And we're going to start off with the opening scene. We're going to flash back to the year 1830. We see Miss Delphine Lalaurie stunning in powder blue. She's grumpy. She's returning to New Orleans from Paris, and she knows how to speak perfect English. She has no French accent. And she's with her daughter, Borkita. And Borkita is trying to console her, but it's not working. So another one of her daughters, Pauline, or whoever that woman was, she's kind of squeamish about cutting the head off of one of the chickens. And it seems that they aren't going to get any help in the kitchen until either the following day or the day after that. But Delphine, she's struggling with chopping the chicken's head off as well, but then she finally does it, and there we see Delphine fascinated by the spurting blood from the chicken corpse. So upstairs, a slave has injured his leg, and initially it seems as if Delphine is going to help him out and help treat the wound, but she finds herself fascinated once again with the spurting blood. So as she feigns helping him, she whacks him upside the head, and we see that she has tied him up, and she's sort of like watching him bleed out and, doing a whole bunch of weird things to him. And that's when she decides that she thinks she's going to like it in New Orleans. So, what did everyone think of Delphine? Is everybody over Delphine torturing people? Do we feel like we've seen enough of Delphine's past to understand what we sort of knew in episode 1, that she's just some crazy psychopathic serial killer that enjoys torturing people?
I mean, I felt like, okay, she was telling her story, but I kept feeling like, well, isn't this a little late?
And don't we really kind of already know it?
We know her story, so it was just kind of like, what was she adding? I mean, don't get me wrong, I think Kathy Bates is magnificent. I mean,
she's your teacher.
That's I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just her portraying the character. You hate the character, so she's doing her job. That's not the problem. I think the problem is the placement of the scenes and why scenes are happening in the order that they're happening. And I didn't understand, like, okay, so, because I'm like, we already know this story. So now why is she telling her story now? And I mean, I guess they were trying to connect it to what she was about to do in the future. But I have to say, I'm kind of tired of seeing the torturing of black people, because at this point it's become ridiculous.
It's become sort of gratuitous.
Right.
I think what they were trying to do is it is very late in the game to give her origin, to sort of take a term that's used usually in like the comic book world, like the origin story. They were trying to sort of explain why she does what she does, when, in my opinion, I mean, there's no way you can really explain why somebody would do what she does.
She's a homicidal maniac, period. It's just like doing a story on Jeffrey Dahmer and allowing Jeffrey Dahmer to tell the story. It's like, well, what do you expect a homicidal maniac to say? I didn't get it. So, yeah, I'm like over it. I'm just really kind of tired, and maybe it just as a black man, I'm just kind of sick and tired of seeing black people get tortured.
I feel you on that. I think too, there's so many slave movies coming out lately and everything. I think, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'm tired of that too. I'd rather just see some. I mean, we can't forget the history, but we need to move on. And it didn't seem like there was a point being made. Yeah, we know she's a sick woman, but it's like this sick woman just keeps on. We come back to the present, and she's still kind of not
doing
that
the same
evil.
thing. Yeah, she's doing the same thing.
There's no arc to this girl's storyline, really. I'm not really getting it.
Well, I mean, I know Ryan Murphy said something about he's trying to explore the story that can a person change? Can a person that's that evil?
No, they don't. I have to put my 2 cents in this, because after doing the panel last night, my mind was in a different mind state. So it was one of those things like, I'm going to have to agree with the both of you guys. I'm very much over seeing black people getting tortured. I'm tired of hearing about her damn story. I'm tired of did she change? Oh, she hasn't changed. Look, she's changing. No, she hasn't changed yet. Like, not only it's just like, okay, we got 2 more episodes. I don't give a fuck about...
Woo!
Delphine anymore.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that.
Literally shit. Yeah, that was
like
no.
I'm just over it. Like
she must
I'm
have seen
tired
The
of her
Help.
story. I don't give a fuck about why she is the way that she is. I don't fucking care. We got 2 more episodes to wrap it up. I need my wrap it up box. Wrap that shit up, B.
Ooh.
No, I'm totally agree with it. And also, like, the reality is she needs to be put back into the ground, like literally, because I mean, but I don't know. I think as much
I
as
personally feel like if they found a way to let her be like this, they can find a way to undo her. I just feel like they were being really lazy about, oh, she's immortal. Like, no, so is Marie Laveau. But you know that she can, anytime she wants to, die, she can. There's not a forever immortality. Something is going to be the Achilles. Something is going to release it. This bitch ain't going to be walking in forever and ever and ever and ever and ever until whatever happens. Like, I feel like they're just lazy. And like I said, I felt like they were just focusing on give the fans what they want and let Violet and Tate be together. They should have killed that dude off. They should have killed him off. They should have left it as that and said pretty much as a big ass, fuck you to the fans because you don't run this show. You letting everybody else down. You letting everybody else down. People who had high hopes to see witchcraft and voodoo go head to head in New Orleans. You should have used more of New Orleans. You should have used more of that spookiness element. You had the spooky right there. But all I'm seeing is the damn front yard and Fiona's room and fucking Cordelia's little greenhouse thing. And I'm over it.
No, I agree. I feel like they really did not use or explore the story or be creative enough with the story.
Papa Legba needs to eat Delphine.
But yeah, it's not even. I mean, I just feel like with all of the mystery and mysticism that goes on in New Orleans, and you picked some very great historical characters. One changed one historical character's race. That's a problem that I have. 2, you have not really fully explored the origins of voodoo or witchcraft at all. Like, all of a sudden, the girls... Now, remember, I said this last week. I said very clearly, when do the girls go to classes? Because I ain't seen no classes yet.
Just ain't Hogwarts.
However...
Fiona.
They're doing book reports.
No, however, last night's episode, Homegirl was doing magic. Like, she had been taught. She was looking in tubs and shit.
Yeah, I didn't even pick up on that.
Where did she get
like Cordelia to be having her what was me moment and I lost my eyes. I got my eyes back. I lost my eyes again. She too busy having her moment to even teach. So what the fuck is she doing?
Yeah,
what are you doing, girl?
I didn't know what was. I think why this is a what the hell moment is because there were some things, and as we go through the story, we'll continue. But there were some things that I was like, okay, this was something I could get into. Like, this was something that affected me. I enjoyed. I got it. I see where they're going. It was just a whole bunch of minutia as well. That was just like, what? Like, really, at this point, I just want the only students that I really want to be in the school is really Queenie. That's really pretty much it. I don't see the need for any of the other students
to be in the damn story.
No, I need me some Queenie, and I'll explain why when we get there. Because bitch showed out last night. Yes, she did. She showed out. She showed out.
She showed out enough to get her ass whooped in the changing room. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember that? Have your parents ever beat your ass?
This is not Precious.
Store?
Moving back into the actual story that we're talking about. Good Lord.
I know, I'm confused. What?
I was like, there ain't no damn changing room. What are you talking about?
Your parents never did that to you? If you acted up in a department store, they'd be like, hey, we're going to try this on. And they would spank you in the dressing room if you were acting out.
Honey, my mother would spank me right out there where I was acting up.
Oh, well, this is this. Well, never mind. Well, I guess it was just me then.
Moving back to the present, Fiona delivers a eulogy for Nan. I loved Marie Laveau's "Amen" and her look. That was just fantastic. Who, obviously Nan, at least per what they're saying, Nan fell in the tub, and she mentions her new union with Marie Laveau. Queenie arrives with This was like one of the best visuals. She arrived with her pet, a leashed Delphine, to Marie and Fiona's dismay. We see that, flashing over to the corporation, we see that Hank's father, Harrison, his employee David lets him know that Hank will be identified as, a homeless veteran with post-traumatic stress disorder, and Harrison wants a sort of a reprieve from the witches, so he tells his employee to set up a meeting with Fiona. Now we see Delphine. She's internally monologuing, musing about her childhood, and she's being ignored by all of the Coven members, except for Myrtle, who's like gushing over her cooking, although she doesn't necessarily know that mulligatawny isn't really mulligatawny. Marie threatens Delphine about her future. She's letting her know that one day she's going to chop her up into itty-bitty pieces and scatter her around New Orleans. She, Delphine, is there sort of noticing everything that's going on, that Fiona's going in and out, not wearing any panties. She's seeing that.
That's what maids do. They're nosy.
I mean, that was just fantastic. So Cordelia's trying a new potion that it seemed maybe that she picked up from Misty Day to restore her sight, and then enters the gardener, who's bleeding, reminding Delphine about what used to feed her soul. She volunteers to help the gardener, and ends up torturing him, bound and gagged up in Spaulding's old domain. She starts off by clipping off his toes. So Zoe, she goes to the bathtub, and she does the spell as Kyle watches. Madison enters, but she doesn't seem to care about what's going on, and Zoe sees with the spell that not only was Fiona responsible for Nan's death, but Ree as well. Madison is bitching about Zoe and Kyle and how they are excluding her from their initial threesome activities, and she throws a tantrum, breaking things in the room. Myrtle comes in, and Madison puts them all on notice that she is the next Supreme, and that they will soon suffer her wrath. So we'll take a break right here before we get into the episode some more. So what did everyone think of Queenie's return? Well, we could talk about Delphine a little bit later on, because she's got so much more doing later on. But the corporation and them wanting to meet with the witches, as well as Madison going kind of nutsy cuckoo on her fellow Covenites. We'll start off with Cat's Meow.
Ugh, I'm happy Queenie is alive, though. Hey, Queenie. Yeah. But she came in with, this see you next Tuesday attitude, talking about y'all shouldn't have gave my room away. You also have to believe, to me, I understand where Queenie was coming from, but Queenie, you left. You left. No. I'm not done yet.
Okay, well, I definitely got to disagree with you on that.
I personally, to me, I was just but you left. You left. You, in a way, you betrayed your own coven because you went with the enemy. Yes, I understand that she saw, yes, this woman is black. None of these people in my coven are black. I feel like I'm being treated differently. I feel like I would be more welcome here. But I don't know. I was kind of about the whole thing. So I was just I see why she's mad, but I feel like she shouldn't be mad. As far as Delphine, go somewhere out of the story. I'm happy that Queenie's getting new powers. But all I can think about is, why the fuck are you telling us this when we only got 2 more episodes to go?
Where you been, girl?
Well, and I understand that at the end of the season, I'm assuming everyone's going to do this 7 Wonder bullshit. But it's I'm just so tired of getting new things into storylines now. I just kind of I wish they could have just kind of closed some stuff up and just okay, now we can just deal with this. But yay, Queenie's back. But I wasn't impressed or anything. I didn't care.
Well, I have to say, I have to disagree with you. I was really glad that Queenie came back. Not only did she come back, but she came back with a very different attitude. In the beginning, in her journey, in her character, she's always been kind of tough, but not necessarily tough magically as much as she just had a tough mind because of what she'd been through in her life. When she came back very clearly as a witch who knew that she was a witch and what she could do. And I think any bitch that could survive being shot in the head and coming back and then turning around and putting Delphine back together and she looks better than she did before she died. You get what I'm saying? There's a sneak attack going on, so I'm really glad about that. I have to disagree about her not being upset. I would be upset too. It's like, bitch, you knew that whatever happened to me would happen to that person. You just left me for dead. You didn't come and check on me. You didn't know whether I was alive or anything.
But she doesn't know that.
Hold
though,
on.
like...
I'm talking. So you left me. You didn't do what you were supposed to do. You're supposed to be somebody to support me. That's on one side. On the other side, you people talk about you're my sisters, but you have Fiona manipulating me to do stuff to hurt someone else because she was taking my naivete. Then you turn around and you supposed to be teaching and protecting us, and bitch, you too busy sleeping with the witch hunters who ended up killing me. Hell yeah, I'd be pissed. And I don't think she was pissed about the room as much as she was pissed about everything. She was pissed about the betrayal. Not only that, don't forget she comes back to Nan's funeral. The one girl in the convent that she did have a connection with. The one girl in the convent she had a connection. I know, I'm sorry. Coven she had a connection with. So I think there was a lot of reasons why she was bad. She was mad. So I support her in that. All the other stuff that was going on, I was glad to see her come back. The Madison, really, go die. I'm just over you. Like, I really don't care. And my thing is, if she is the person that is the supreme bitch, I will not buy the box set. It'll be over. I'm not buying the box set. I'm not saving no money. You're not getting my cash.
I think Myrtle is
serious.
the supreme.
I don't know.
I don't think she's the next supreme. I don't think anyone's the next supreme, to be honest with you, because I feel like American Horror Story, everyone gets their just desserts. No one really comes out winning.
I know who it's going to be.
It seems like someone's going to come out winning, and it doesn't. I personally feel like I said, as far as Queenie, being mad, I feel like Queenie spends too much of this damn season being mad. You also have to look into the fact that she left the Coven. So it's one of those things, like, when you leave the Coven, when you leave and you leave with the enemy, regardless of what you have in common with them, may it be race, you still betrayed your Coven at the end of the day.
Queenie over there coming with the Kathy Bates on that chain, looking like it's the Folsom Field, just the Folsom, what is it, Folsom Festival, like some gay festival.
Folsom Street Fair.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, don't people like in this city, like, they're freaks. Like, I wish there was like kind of, remember Miss Kravitz from Bewitched? Like, where's somebody that's like snooping on these people? Like, what, I'd be like, there's got to be somebody that's like, who are these freaks just walking around in black, costumes?
Have you been to Las Vegas?
Las Vegas?
I mean, not Las Vegas, too. New Orleans. Have you been to New Orleans?
I've never been to New Orleans. Is that
okay.
Are there just freaks walking around?
I think you need to go and experience New Orleans. And we're not talking about New Orleans like just not just the high life over there and the, what does they call it? The what is the name of that place where all the bars and stuff like that is? Not just there. You need to go and experience New Orleans. New Orleans has a very strong the reason why they call it the Sin City of the South is because of everything is there. Everything is there. The reason why that fool Pat Robertson, Pastor Pat Robertson, or whatever the hell his name is, said that the reason why Katrina came is because New Orleans kind of has all of these different elements.
So Cat's Meow's people will see people alone.
Huh?
Well, you know what I did like, though? I did like the whole montage a little bit with Kathy Bates and the maid.
Pat Robertson is Cat's Meow's husband.
No, he's not.
I don't know who that is.
No, Pat Robinson is the minister.
He's the 700 Club. We know the 700
the 700 Club. You know, the one that makes all the stupid comments like that black women are the reason why food stamps have to be in existence. Him.
I don't pay attention to negativity like that. Like, I'm just over that. I'm trying to like better myself and trying not to focus on race so much. I really am. I know that race is something that people is the first thing people see whether they want to say that they're colorblind or not. But I'm really trying not to focus on what hateful white people have to say and just imagining them as hateful people.
You were, girl.
I don't know. That's just that's my New Year's resolution.
All right, girl.
Sounds like a plan.
So what were we saying?
So are we ready to move on?
Yeah, do it.
I think we've harped on poor Kathy Bates for about enough as we can.
Well,
Queenie, I should say.
But I'm just saying, though, I see your point, though, but I'm just I don't normally be happy. I feel like we focused on race so much in this season.
But that was the main
we
purpose.
Haven't really gotten
That's
down
what they
to
wanted to do.
I know, but I feel like we focused on it so much with making people feel uncomfortable that we've never really actually focused on things about racism. Just hangings and this sadistic white woman torturing slaves. We get into the shocking things, but we never get into the meat potatoes about racism. We never really got into the do they see Queenie as an equal? Do they truly see Queenie as an equal?
Well, they started going there with that relationship. I wanted that to be explored more.
That's the
thing that keeps making me mad. I'm so tired of this racism shit. I'm so tired of everything being focused on race. I feel like the voodoo and witchcraft thing was kind of just white people versus black people. And then at the end, I think it was supposed to be look, the voodoo queen is hanging out with the witchcraft woman, or hey, black and white people are getting along. That's how I kind of felt. And I'm I'm just done with it. Ryan Murphy, do something else. Bring in a singing boy in a wheelchair. I don't care what the fuck. Singing boy in a wheelchair. Just do something different. Just do something different.
No, she did not.
Ebony and Ivory.
But no, I mean, I think that and I definitely hear where you're coming from, and I think that that his exploration of this was supposed to be very different, but I just don't think that the writing kept up with what his motivation was.
Marshall, investigate how many black writers there were.
0.5
black writers he had.
Yes, please do.
0.5.
There were 5.
There are 5 black writers. 0.5.
No, I don't know.
Oh, someone's. No,
I mean, I think that what is interesting about it was that I think you have a great point. What you're saying is very true, but I think the interesting about it for me for this season was that if you're going to deal with racism and you want to bring historical characters and you want to be a great writer and you want to say we're taking these historical references and bringing them right and how would they work out in today's society, if you want to do that, then you have to start the basic off correct. You can't start the basic off wrong. You can't have one of the characters that's supposed to be a man who's mulatto be Caucasian. You can't have a group of women, a young girl who's supposed to represent a black witch and the legacy of a black witch, and then kind of not really use her that well in the show. You can't have a person who has what many people would consider a mental handicap or a handicap of some kind, and then not really explore what life would be like to be a witch and have that handicap. It is just, I feel like people were thrown in to be different just to be different. I felt
just
like
so people could I feel like this was relate to them.
Yeah, I felt like this was Glee at Halloween.
He's in a wheelchair. I'm in a wheelchair. He can sing. I can sing.
Right. And
I'm overweight. Queenie's overweight. We're both black. I must be a witch. Shit like that.
Yeah, and I felt like, when you're talking about a place like New Orleans that has a rich, rich culture. I mean, my partner and I love New Orleans. We love New Orleans. It has a rich, rich, rich culture. From whether you do something as spoophonic as the Vampire Tour, which, by the way, if you do the Vampire Tour, that shit is scary.
I was questioning. I think you're in my apartment because I was totally talking about that there is a vampire apparently there's a vampire down in New Orleans. I would have been happy with them just adding that in, not really bringing him in necessarily as a story, but almost. Yeah, what if he had I don't know, some type
just
of
a mention of him,
something in the news, bodies have been coming up missing, or bodies found in the alleyways drained of blood, just as a quick nod to that. I'd have been like, oh, look at you, Ryan Murphy, you step in that game up, look at you open that history book up.
Right, because there's a rich culture of that. There's a rich culture of not only voodoo and mysticism, but and witchcraft that is in New Orleans. But you have the vampirism that's there. You have the werewolfism that's there. There's a lot of rich culture in terms of fables that are there that could have been explored. So if these witches know about all of these other things, why wasn't there a succubus in the story?
Oh, we know about that.
Oh, Lord.
I mean,
listen to y'all need to hear. Wait. Since
zombies.
you mentioned succubus, y'all need to hear Deadly's story about the succubus. For those that listen to the Papi Chulo show with our exclusive interview with Deadly, y'all know about it. So Deadly, mention the succubus.
Yeah, I woke up in the middle of the night one time, just almost suffocating, like a heavy thing on my chest. Seemed like I was getting flipped over. That was the one time where I was almost at bottom again. So he was trying to get inside. He was trying to get inside of me. I was fighting him.
I hate you so much.
I was fighting him bad. I was screaming, and then, no joke, like the next day, I even had like some bruises on me. You don't believe it, but I had bruises. This thing
That's
was
what we call good trade. That's what we call that. We call that good trade.
we call that you going to sleep after drinking too much.
I call that a good night.
And then you didn't know who you brought home, and he got a little horny in the middle of the night and flipped you over. Anyway,
nah, I'm not into little. I'm not into little
midget, in Brooklyn,
little
your
people,
ass.
oh my God. So, but I mean, I'm just saying that there was such a rich history. I feel like Ryan Murphy could have really gone in a lot of different places, because when you're dealing with witchcraft, we always know that witches, vampires, and werewolves are the center.
Ryan Murphy said he would.
So there was
never do vampires or werewolves.
But he decided to pull characters out of history that could have worked very well, but didn't use them to their ability.
Exactly.
Like, come on now, dude. Like, if you're gonna fuck up like noble characters from history, not noble, but important characters from history from New Orleans, then you can fuck up a vampire shit too, and probably still have 14-year-old girls eating out of your dick. So, bye, boo. I don't believe that. I don't
bye,
believe
boom.
As long as you promise another Violet and Tate love story, you got them. You got them eating out your dick.
Ooh.
Why are we eating?
I don't even know what that means.
I was like, why are we eating dick?
Moving on, let's actually jump back into the story.
I'm like lost. I was like, we eating dick?
So, jumping back into the story, where we left off, the Axeman.
Oh, Lord.
Yes. The Axeman is playing his music, and Fiona's getting dressed. He invites her to spend her final days with him in his family's rural farmhouse, which I'm kind of like, wouldn't that like not necessarily?
Do you even know if it's still
exactly
there?
Well, if someone
like,
is
sweetheart, that was in the 1920s.
Yeah. Well, if someone's living there, I guess he'll just axe him down.
There ain't no house nowhere in where that is a convenient mark.
Yes.
Welcome to the 21st century, bitch.
So she laughs it off, but he presses that once the new Supreme is dead, that they should run off together. She agrees, but bids that he must do her one small favor. Spaulding visits Delphine to admire her, and I use this with air quotes, art. She slowly realizes that he is a ghost, and he says that he's been watching her rudderless life lately, and that he suggests that he knows how to help her. He stokes her hatred of Marie and suggests killing her. He thinks Fiona's actions, including the alliance with Marie, are threatening the Coven that he serves, and he's going to tell her how to magically kill the immortal Marie if she can retrieve a very special item. Cordelia welcomes Queenie back, but Queenie ain't got time for that, and she's upset at the changes since she's left, not to mention Hank's killing spree. Queenie, lets her know that she survived the silver bullet. She spit it out, and Queenie suspects that she is the new Supreme, and Cordelia should step aside and let her run things. In the greenhouse, Cordelia examines a flower bud and prepares a potion for her eyes to restore the second sight. But failing that, she pierces her eyes herself with a pair of gardening shears. Fiona searches for Cordelia, and Myrtle tells her that Cordelia is a hero now, protecting the Coven. Myrtle tells Fiona to go to her daughter and have Cordelia read her. Fiona almost does, but she sort of hightails it out of there and goes downstairs to fetch a drink instead. Delphine, she's returned with a very expensive gift for Spaulding. It's a designer doll. And Spaulding of course, provides her with the potion to restore Marie Laveau's mortality. It's the infamous over-the-counter drug drill, and he hushes her before she can say the name because, oogie boogie, you can't say Benadryl out loud. Myrtle, she's playing with her fancy instrument. She tells Zoe to escape with Kyle to Epcot while she still can. She gives her unique and expensive jewelry to use for money, but Zoe, she doesn't want to leave. But Myrtle reminds her that she has enemies everywhere and must leave, so Zoe considers it. Before we get into the end of everything else that's sort of wrapping up, what did everyone think of the infamous Benadryl, of Cordelia snatching her own eyes out, and Spaulding and Delphine as the new odd couple? We'll start off with Deadly.
Well, you didn't mention Myrtle, which Myrtle
yes, you love Big Red.
Favorite.
You love Big Red.
Yeah, I love Big Red. She's kind of made up for, Nan's gone. She's loving the light biscuits and she's loving the poo-poo soup, and I'm feeling Myrtle. As far as my man, the tea master, yeah, I could have done without him, man. This whole thing has just kind of been a little bit too campy for me. The whole thing with the Benadryl, it's like, come on, man. It sounds just goofy, man. And just even looking on Tumblr, all these things with with her and Benadryl, and it's just become kind of a joke. I understand the show does have some camp to it, but sometimes you just gotta stay in the reality, man. The Benadryl just kind of threw me off, man. But I do like Cordelia stabbing her eyes, because I liked her better. So yeah, I'm happy she's blind. Or I even like the girl with the that had the bleach or something. Remember when she poisoned something. At least
really, I don't understand why he's even in the story and why he wanted a gun. I just was you're a ghost. Didn't he want a revolver or something like that? What was it that she had to go get him? Doll. No, a doll, a fucking doll. I'm really over it. I'm just over it.
With the papers, though.
But it's a doll, and you a ghost. That's where I'm still not getting his whole storyline. I'm totally lost on why he's in the story at all. But I will say that I thought it was interesting that Delphine noticed that he was a ghost is the way she did. I thought that was smart writing. I mean, as somebody that's been alive for many, many years and been pretty much close to death, I can see that. You know what I mean? I could see that.
Yeah, but she was by herself. So how was she? She was I've seen ghosts before. I'm how the hell have you seen ghosts before from a coffin that was 30 feet into the ground?
Well, child, I guess if you lived over a century, you notice things. But anyway, I was going to say, the one thing, I did see this coming a mile away. I kind of figured that Cordelia was going to stab her eyes out eventually. I saw that coming a mile away. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of saw that a mile away. It's she's going to want to be, you know what I mean, back to the power and the strength that she was. And so, and with everything that was happening with her mother, I kind of saw that coming. You know what I mean? That she would do some kind of ultimate sacrifice to prove to her mother and to the Coven that she was worth being there. No, so yeah, for me, it was. I love Miss Big Red. She's hilarious,
right? Uh-huh.
And I love the fact that she smacked the poopy out of that girl, because I wanted to smack the poop out of that girl. So it was really nice to see her go smack. That was so nice. That was a nice scene, because it was just girl, somebody's giving you a ticket and telling you that the people around here crazy. Get out of here. And you don't want to listen, you need to be smacked. And that's literally what I said. And then 5 seconds later, she smacked her. And I was like, see? That's what I was saying. But overall, I thought it's kind of, it is what it is, I guess. And, I don't know what else to say.
I thought Myrtle handed Zoe a paperweight. And when she said I couldn't work it, I was like, you're not supposed to. It's a paperweight. I was really confused. I was like, okay, whatever. Cordelia, her whole I love Cordelia's scream. So I'm like, I was really happy to hear her like
Like,
do her eyes
make
out.
the bitch scream,
I know
please.
she was like, oh, like she has this man scream, and it's so fucking funny to me. But like, it's just, I don't know. Like, it was just weird to me. Like the whole, I'm a, like, spoiler alert. This is my like prediction.
Spoiler alert.
Fiona, if you can hear me, girl, I know you a fictional character, but I know you a fan. Axeman is going to be the last man you fuck over. Period. Because I know, like, something in my heart of hearts, I feel like she's not trying to live on the country. This bitch is trying to rule the world. She's trying to, like I said, she's trying to be Lady Gaga and Beyonce, and it just don't work. You can't do it, girl. Video phone and telephone, it was just a bad idea. You can't make it come back. I'm sorry.
No, telephone was good. Video
No, it
phone
wasn't.
was not.
Both of them are bad.
Oh, that video was badass.
We're going to pass that off. We're going to pass that off. We're going to do
I
our
like
thing.
telephone.
But I just feel like Axeman is somehow he's gonna know that that's not something she wanted to do. She's gonna fuck him over and he gonna kill her. Like that's like I can just feel it because Fiona, like just because she got a little love and she got ghost dick, don't change nobody. You can't change, you know, and you can't change. I hate to use this phrase, but you can't change a hoe into a housewife. Like you think this bitch gonna go from wearing Chanel to Marona from Target? Have a seat.
Oh.
Like, it's not going to happen. So I feel like that's a story within itself, and I feel like Fiona will possibly die by the axe murderer's hand. As far as the Benadryl thing, I was like, I'm going to have to agree with Deadly. I just felt like it was a little bit too campy. They were searching too hard for laughs. But I do love me some Benadryl. Me and Benadryl go way back. Because I love it. Those 2 pills at night will knock you out. You will get the best sleep you've ever had before in your life. And you're not drowsy. You're not nothing like that. So I felt like there should have been a Benadryl endorsement somewhere in there.
Listeners, we are not licensed professionals, so please do not take any medical advice.
Please don't.
Don't take medical advice from anyone named Cat's Meow.
I know, child, because you mess with her, you'll be a meow cat. You'll be all backwards and shit.
But no, like, I thought it was okay. Spalding just needs to go back to whatever, like, wherever he's hanging out at. Because I'm over
Papa needs to pick him up.
Yes, Papa Ladybug need to come up and be like, we got houses and toilets that need to be cleaned. So we got a place just for you. Like, he likes to clean. Why not let him clean Papa's Ladybugs in the afterlife? Like, you know, all I can say is, like, I know that I've been really hard on the show, and I'm still really hard on it because I'm still expecting a lot. But this episode was a lot better than last week's episode. But it's still so many holes, and with her giving Zoe 2 tickets to Orlando, did Myrtle choose that where they were going, or?
Yeah, I think Myrtle.
She had tickets to Epcot, so yes.
I was just like, okay, this is really fucking weird, but I'm still like, Myrtle Snow's she's my ride or die bitch.
She's funny. She's funny.
She got that Yuri, what was it, Kanklonian, 99-cent Yaki hair. And I just be living for her. I know she be making wigs out of those fucking nets. I know she got it. I bet she be whipping them wigs up.
Don't be a hater, dear.
Don't be a hater, dear.
She's so funny. But you know what's so great about her? It's like, even when Madison was like trying to give her shade, it's just that she's so steady that like nothing shakes her.
I know she was like, I know you can't do it. I was like, you're not supposed to. It's a paperweight. Like, no one's supposed to be rocking this damn thing. What was it? It looked like a big ass rock to me.
I think it may have been like a major precious jewel, like a diamond or something. And it's just not in its, you know what I mean? In its sharpened form.
Oh,
because the way she gave it to her was very clear. Like, this is exotic and it will get you a lot of money. Because she told her very clearly, don't exchange it, right? She said, don't exchange it until you really need it, right?
I think so. Yeah, she was like, when you get into like a hole, like a deep hole, then do it. But I wish I had a homie like Myrtle. Shit.
Well, that's the one thing that I think I like about her character is that out of all the witches, even though she's the weirdest and the way she was introduced, she kind of came across as like the know-it-all. In the end, she's the one that really is like, when you think of a school, you think of her being, she should be the teacher.
Exactly. I don't know why
like
they played her off to be
Mm-hmm.
this crazy person. She got fashion because she be working them gloves, child. She be working them gloves. She be
and them
doing her
glasses,
thing.
honey.
And them
And
glasses.
she loves Olympians ejaculate.
Like
Oh.
she to me, she's exquisite. Like she's different. But there's something about her, and I kind of wish I wasn't so hard in her in the beginning. 'Cause I didn't think she was going to be a standout character. To me, I thought she was just going to be gone. Like that was the last time we gonna see of her. But now she's coming to her own. She's doing her thing, telling people not to be a hater, playing that funky ass instrument she be playing, and don't give a fuck. Because in reality, you don't just YOLO. You don't YOLO. And Myrtle's like, bitch, you not only live one. She was like, look at my glow, but get into this gig, darling. Get into this gig. And she was like, bitch, I've seen death, and the gig, girl, the gig is here. Let me get into this gig.
Oh, catch me out.
Speaking of the gig,
she is hilarious. But no, you have to give it to her. No, Catch Me Out is hitting it right on the head. She really is. To me, it's like she is one of the saving graces of the show. Like if she's not in the show, you're just feeling like, you know what I mean? Like I think there's like a couple of episodes she wasn't there, and you're just like, I remember that. I think those were the episodes that we hated the most. And then all of a sudden she comes back and we're kind of like, oh, I didn't really like this episode. But you know what, Myrtle? You know what I mean? It's just something about her. And it's also because we have to give it up because it's Frances. Frances is an amazing actress.
Oh, yes.
and she always plays such a very different character every season.
She played that prisoner or whatever. She played that with that really bad accent.
Yeah, when she was technically a
2?
fantasy of Sister Jude.
I'm like, but she still put it down though. I was like, you go, girl. I was like, you sounded like you just walked off the set of A League of Their Own. You do your thing. Do your thing. I see you.
There's no crying in baseball.
Like I was like, you go.
So moving back into the story, so now we're at the point to where we appear to have some sort of resolution for one of the main storylines of this season. The men from the Delphi Trust arrive in New Orleans for a meeting with Fiona and Marie. They're in this conference room at a hotel. It's all fancy and everything. There's even a waiter there ready to take everyone's orders. We have Fiona and Marie entering like the boss bitches that they are. They sit down. The men are surprised that they don't have security around them, and they basically say, you know, we shattered your company in the matter of seconds, and Marie is immortal, so we don't need no stinking bodyguards. They take some drinks from they give drink orders to the bartender. We have Fiona who's gonna be drinking. What did she pick? What was it? Wine? White wine?
No, she had a muddy
martini.
No, she had a dirty martini. She wanted it filthy.
Yeah,
she wanted it filthy.
She got a filthy martini because she's a nasty old bitch.
Yes,
Like,
and Marie, who is immortal and is watching her figure, she wanted a Diet Sprite.
That's what made me laugh. She said, and the Sprite. She said, no, a Diet Sprite.
Yes.
Earlier in the season, she had that Coke, remember?
Yeah,
Coca-Cola.
She likes soda. I thought that was
like,
really cute.
I would have did it big. I'd have been like, yes, let me get a Cavassier on the rocks. Y'all don't know nothing about that, do you? You don't know nothing about that Cavassier, do you? That Hennessy. Let me get a shot of Hennessy on the rocks. Like, I would have showed my true color. I'd be like, let me get a shot of Hennessy and some macaroni and cheese the way my mama make it.
Okay, listen. Can we move on?
So the men, they basically let the women know that they would like to set up a 100-year truce, as well as they're going to give reparations to Marie, and everything is in exchange for an end to the magical siege that they have onto the company. We have a counteroffer from Fiona. She says that she would like for their dissolution of the witch hunters, as well as a private jet and a house, one of Harrison's houses, but obviously, they'll be painting it over because Fiona wasn't happy with the color. They refuse, so Fiona gives them another offer, which is that they all die. So the Axeman, he begins killing the men in the room until only Harrison remains. He, unfazed, mixes coffee. He says that killing them will not end the war, and tells all of them to go to hell. The Axeman tosses Fiona an axe, and she hacks into Harrison's throat. Marie snaps some pictures with her camera phone, obviously to put on Instagram, and Fiona and the Axeman embrace. They, back at the academy, they toast to a long friendship with champagne. Fiona tells Delphine not to wait up, that she's going to go service the Axeman. And then we see Marie, sort of slightly drunk, climbing up the stairs, teasing Delphine, and Delphine grabs a knife. She stabs Marie into the chest, thinking that the infamous Benadryl has made Marie mortal, but of course it hasn't. And in the ensuing commotion, Marie gets knocked out and cascades down the stairs unconscious. Spaulding says that Marie can't die after all, but that Delphine should bury the body in a way that she can't dig out. He goes on to say that he basically wanted Marie Laveau out of the picture because he goes back to his creepy attic with all the dolls to play with Marie's stolen baby, or as he calls the infant, his own living doll. And then in the last scene of the episode, we see Zoe and Kyle packing up. Kyle is afraid to leave, especially because of his uncontrollable rages, but he tells her that leaving is not her decision to make, but she insists, and they flee to the bus terminal headed to Orlando and the wonders of Epcot. So what did everyone think of the resolution of the Witch Hunter storyline, possibly? We have Marie getting knocked the fuck out, Spaulding with the child, and of course Fiona having sex with the Axeman, and Tweedledee and Tweedledum leaving for Orlando. What did everyone think? We'll start off with Marshall.
Well, I mean, first of all, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, I'm glad they're Tweedle gone, so I really could care less.
Yeah, but are they really gone?
Well, I really hope so.
No, because after they showed their fucking preview, and I was like, we're done.
Well, see, and that's what pisses me off, because I'm just kind of like, okay, that's pissing me off, because, you have some people like those characters which you really don't give a fuck about who are getting these long storylines, and then you kill off someone like Nan. And then you're like trying to kill off Marie. And then we haven't heard anything yet from whether Miss Girl, who's under the ground, is going to get it. Like
Twirl.
Like characters
Twirl.
that
She's gone with the wind. Fabulous.
The characters that you really like are like not getting fully fleshed out and finding some resolution to their stories that actually make sense. But then you have these people who I really don't give a fuck about. I could care less about Tweedledee, Tweedledick, and Tweedlefrank or whatever. I could care less about them. Like, I really don't care. I haven't cared since the second episode when the bitch turned the bus over and killed him. Like, I haven't cared since. So I just am like, whatever with them. Spaulding, once again, now, once again, he has a black baby. I just don't get it. I don't know why.
Would you rather him have a Chinese one?
Well, I would rather him not be in the story. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Like, I feel like once he got his throat cut, he should be gone. Like, that should have been the end of Spaulding. Period. So there, like I said, there's just some characters where you're just like, what? I really don't care. And then some characters where you're like, okay, why is this happening? So the whole Marie Laveau and the Benadryl thing, I can understand why she passed out and fell down the steps and so on and so forth. But once again, I'm just like, I feel like Spaulding was like one of their people to save them in their writing. That they really didn't have a storyline for him. He's just one of the people to save them if they got stuck. So, I wasn't impressed with a lot of kind of some of the resolutions. One, because I didn't care. Or two, because I was just like, huh? What the fuck? So that's just kind of how I felt.
I was very, very disappointed. Like, I have a feeling that this isn't the last of Marie Laveau, but like, if this is the last, like, she got taken out by a hit to the head by a doll.
Exactly.
Just like Nan getting drowned in the bathtub. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I feel like they're like, oh, let's cut some of these storylines. I'm so tired of the Axeman and his and his shenanigans and his whole playing his saxophone and Fiona riding his penis, hunching. I don't have time for it because I don't give a fuck. If I wanted to see old people fucking, I'd watch something about it, but I don't give a fuck because I don't care about old people.
I'd watch CBS.
Like, yeah, shit, I'd watch Murder, She Wrote. The Triple X version.
You leave Jessica Fletcher by herself.
I love Jessica Lansbury though. I mean Angela Lansbury. I don't know why I said Jessica. But no,
that's Jessica Lang's sister-in-law.
But I'm so fucking tired of hearing about Zoe and Kyle. And at first I thought it was really cute how he's like, it's not your decision to make. Like, I'm staying here. And then she did her whole thing what Myrtle was saying to her, and then they started running away like it was some type of beginning of some angsty 90s music video and getting on a damn bus.
No, it was the beginning of Can't Hardly Wait.
Like something, it was that. It was just like, let's go. Let's show them where they're going. And then let's show the promo for the next episode. There's holes here, and I feel like they're just like, I know people are going to eat it up, so let's not really worry about sustenance. Let's not worry about actual meat to a story. Let's just entertain. Let's give the fans what they want, which is that, like I said, that Tate and Violet story that they that loves whatever that relationship that they didn't get necessarily in season 1. So now they're getting it now, and I feel like that's bullshit because in a way, like the first season is in the same time period as this one. So to me, it's people. Who cares? Like, no one cares. Ryan Murphy, you're fucking up a good thing. You're letting something good go through your fingers and you don't even know it because you're too busy trying to, like, please the fans. And I didn't have time for it. I'm just praying. This is actually in my prayers, Lord, that, like, they just figured their shit out because I wasn't happy at all. And
I think Ryan.
Hello? Did Ryan Murphy silence him?
He's silent.
I think Ryan.
Oh Lord!
You may continue.
I don't know what's going on. Something's happening. There's some Ryan Murphy's got some power over me. Didn't like
got some succubus there.
Yeah, but Spalding and that black baby, that's too much. And then I did like the scene though with the X-Men. I got to disagree. I did kind of like the conference table and him just going one after one. Those witch hunters, and that final kill was pretty badass from Fiona. So yeah,
we talked about that. What's her face was taking pictures.
Yeah, that threw me off a little bit.
Instagram, baby.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry, but that was funny as hell because you guys know in black culture in her time period and in the early 1920s and 30s, one of the things that they did to prove that somebody was dead and to see the spirit, leave was they take a picture of the dead person in the coffin. So she was actually living out what her time period, the people in her time period would be doing.
I don't want to see that.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that. I thought she was trying to do some blackmailing stuff or something.
No. Like when we would go to funerals, black people would go to funerals. Like this is particularly when cameras started becoming pretty big. Which and in those time periods, what black people would do was they would literally take a picture. They would take a picture of the person. Back in Europe, though, they actually was to put the dead person in a chair, and they would take a picture of the dead person in the chair. So she's living out her time period. So that's the one historical thing they got correct.
I'm like, I would never. I was like, I would never put that. I would never sit in that chair ever again. I'd be like, this is forever Myrtle's chair.
Why are you killing Myrtle?
Leave Big Red alone.
Body in a chair to take a picture. I'm like, nope, that's forever their chair. Bury it with them. Like, I'm good. No, I'm afraid their spirit is going to get on me.
Did everybody ever see the movie The Others?
I did.
I love The Others.
Okay, do you remember? Do you remember when she was looking through the book and she saw all the dead people?
Yeah, it was all the dead people.
Right.
And I wouldn't
even
have sat
white
on
people
any
did it.
furniture in that bitch's house. None of it.
But also,
she'd like have a seat, and I'd be like, "No, I'll stand."
If you also see movies like another movie that also shows that and reference that really well is the movie called Kingdom Come, and Whoopi Goldberg and LL Cool J. Well, there's a really funny scene where you see Loretta Devine take a picture of her brother in the casket. So they're all making historical references to that's what was a normal kind of part of community. So,
Look
although,
at
of
us
course,
learning new things.
well, although you do remember that LL Cool J ran about the funeral home though when that happens because it freaks him out.
I've never seen that movie before.
I would bottom for L Cool J. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, really? On the
Okay.
show? Just
Good
kind of
lord.
like really on the
Yay.
show.
My bad.
This
My
is
bad.
not that kind of
I'm
show.
like, I would too.
You need to be a guest on Marshall's show on Sunday nights. Just an FYI.
Oh my god, this is too funny for words. Okay, I am traumatized to the core right now. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I will say, I am looking forward to next week. I thought the episode was okay. Cat's Meow, you seem to like this one better than last week. I liked last week better than this one. I thought it was a little slow. I thought it was a little slow, but and I wasn't really 100% happy like some of you with what was going on. So I'm looking forward to next week and seeing what's going to happen. So since we are talking about next week, let's actually get into the spoiler section. So it's time to get a little spoilery. If you don't want to hear any spoilers for the upcoming episodes, the remaining episodes of American Horror Story Coven, I suggest you turn your volume down low because this is officially a spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
And we do have some interesting information that has come out. First off, we're going to start off by talking about an award win that we missed last time. American Horror Story won the People's Choice Award for Favorite TV Movie / Miniseries. So congratulations to American Horror Story Coven.
That's because of us.
Yes, it is. It's
because
we made it happen.
Yes, because we've been talking shit about it, and so people go, I got to go see this shit.
Yeah, we did it.
Exactly. Okay, so let's jump back into spoilers. Okay, information on Season 4 has slowly started to leak out. Ryan Murphy told Entertainment Weekly this about Season 4. It's set in 1950. If you look historically what happened in the year 1950, there's some more clues in that year. It's a period piece. We try and do the opposite of what we've done before. Jessica Lange has already started practicing her German accent, so I'm very excited. We have no idea what that means. Are they going to bring back Nazis like they did in Season 2 and maybe explore some of that a little bit more? In the 1950s, it was also the McCarthy hearings and things like that, and we had a bit of a tease during this episode where we heard Harrison mention something about, is this the McCarthy trials or something like that. So we're starting to get little hints throughout the episodes. Ryan Murphy likes to drop little clues as to what the next season is during the episodes. So it'll be interesting to see. Will we be able to buy Jessica Lange as a German lady? I don't know, but I guess we'll have to find that out next season. What does everyone think about the 1950s and Jessica Lange speaking German?
Well, I have a feeling that they're going to have something to do with communism. Because
boring.
Communism was very big in the 1950s, and especially for some reason, I don't know. Like, I just hope that it has not. I hope it's not a racism thing or is a focus on racism because I'm so drained.
Well, it's also wasn't the nuclear bomb.
I just can't deal right now.
Wasn't like the nuclear bomb and nuclear testing?
The hydrogen bomb actually.
Yeah, the hydrogen bomb, and they also around that time is also Area 51, right?
The aliens.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that. Mm-hmm. I don't really think.
That
but
was in the
you also had like Stalin was in the 1950s, and then you had I don't know.
In the 1950s, we were coming out of
snowman too.
Yeah.
Oh, good God!
Now that would be something very interesting.
The reason
we'll
I'm saying
the Yeti
race
making
is that
love
segregation
to a German Jessica
was
Lange.
ruled illegal in the 1950s, and I feel like if they really focus on that and the whole Jim Crow laws and everything, like I
don't think they're going to have another race.
Well, are there even any black people coming back? I don't think there are.
Supposedly, a lot of the current cast is coming back. Earlier, we had reported that, obviously Jessica, but that Kathy and Angela were in talks of coming back.
I bet you $50 Angela is probably going to play Rosa Parks.
I don't think it's gonna be that
I'm just saying, though,
historical.
like, you never know, because Rosa Parks.
Oh, I like that.
She already played Rosa
that.
Parks, though.
She was
Didn't she already play Rosa Parks?
But well, yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah,
also,
she already did, but
but
still.
also Rosa Parks.
So
she
she
wouldn't
has
make
to
any
practice.
sense because Rosa Parks' story was in the 1960s.
Oh.
Rosa
No,
Parks.
she
okay, there
refused
you
to
go.
give up her seat in 1955.
And last but not least, Ryan Murphy, as he's been doing every week, he has given an interview after the episode aired to Entertainment Weekly's Inside TV, and of course he gave away lots of scoops. So first off, we'll talk about Madame Lalaurie. He goes on to say, we got a lot of comments about people really misunderstanding Kathy Bates's head crying after Queenie made her watch civil rights footage. She was not crying because she was moved. She was crying for another reason that she reveals in the next 2 episodes. I always thought she was one of the most dastardly people we've ever attempted. He goes on to talk about, they ask him about LaLaurie and Spalding as a sort of dynamic duo, and he goes on to say, my favorite part of that is the magical elixir known as Benadryl. The Benadryl people were really cool about it. We could show the box, but we couldn't say the word. I was like, okay, we'll take that. And then he goes on to talk about Jessica Lange, and because they ask him, she's never really done anything as gruesome on any version of American Horror Story as taking the axe to someone's head. And apparently they had created a different version of that scene initially. He goes on to say, so we wrote that scene originally with Angela and Jessica on Skype, and that they refused to show up. The entire scene was going to be them on this big TV screen watching the guys being massacred and thus being protected. Jessica read it and said, well, why does the Axeman get to have all the fun? I want to be in that room. So we rewrote it, and I think she was right. And then they ask about Marie being unconscious, what's going to happen to her, and he goes on to say that basically what she was going to do to Kathy Bates, basically what she was going to do to Kathy Bates, which she did. Marie cut Delphine into many, many parts and threatened to scatter her around the city. Kathy does the same thing to Marie. Marie is still alive, but her body parts are scattered all over the city, perhaps never to be united again. The question in the next episode, who can put this very glamorous Humpty Dumpty back together again? And they go on to ask about... hold on, what's another good thing to... They go on to ask about the Supremes and the potential Supremes. Will it become more clear as to who the Supreme is? And he goes on to say, there's an interesting thing we said early and repeat again, that in times of crisis, witches' power rise. So the next 2 episodes are really about who is the Supreme, but then again, could Fiona kill them all, and the entire episode just be Fiona shopping in Paris with the Axeman? You will have to watch. They ask about Misty. And will we see her again? He goes on to say, well, time's running out for Misty. She's trapped in that tomb, and there's not a lot of oxygen in those tombs, and people usually die of dehydration after 3 days. And that they address what happens to her. So we're going to find out soon what's going to happen with Misty. We already know from last week that apparently Queenie is going to venture into hell in the next episode to bring Marie Laveau back. I don't know what that means, but the next episode is actually called Go to Hell. So I guess we'll figure that out next week. So is everybody excited?
Well,
are you serious?
Well, more and more, it's turning around to where the person that we least expected to be could end up being. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Queenie?
For a long time,
but the person we least expected is dead. Well, at least for me.
Well, for me, the person least expected is Cordelia.
Oh, yeah, Queenie could have come back and do it too. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, but I kept saying about Queenie was that the reason why, or I don't know if you remember when I first came on the show and I said it's just something about the way they're playing Queenie, that her story, it leaves her open in so many ways. Now you brought her back from the dead,
just like after the Minotaur.
Yeah, but you brought her back from the dead like you did Madison. You understand what I'm saying? But the way she came back was even more powerful because she came back where even a silver bullet couldn't kill her. Madison didn't do that. And Madison didn't bring herself back. Somebody else brought Madison back. Queenie came back on her own.
And remember, she put what's her face back together.
Exactly. She put Mist back together, so that means she also has the power of resurrection. So it's
Or
just
at least
something
healing.
about it. Of healing, right. But now you're talking about her going into hell to bring Marie Laveau back. Like, there's just is something about the storyline. And once again, it may be what we've been talking about, which is kind of the racism thing. Like, we may all, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but we may all get slapped in the face with, guess what? The whole time we
With a
knew
bag
Queenie
of
was going to
quarters.
be. Yeah, that Queenie may actually be the Supreme. She was always supposed to be the Supreme. And that's why she's played both sides, because she needed to figure out who she needed to be.
Friday the 13th.
Bam.
Friday the
I know,
13th,
right?
volume
The only reason-
16. Queenie Goes to Hell.
Well, yeah, because I just think that it's. I'm sorry. The only reason why I'm saying is because I really think that's interesting that out of everybody, who's the one person that can bring the entire magical kingdom together? A black woman who can bring the voodoo, who comes from a descendant of witches. That would mean bringing the Coven and the voodoo clans together. That's. In other words, I just won't. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if it happens, child, I wouldn't be shocked.
But it would be really awesome. I just wish Nan could have been the Supreme. I think that would have been really cool.
Yeah.
Because no one,
And
no
she
one
should have gotten
truly
fucked
would
by
have
the Axeman.
suspected it.
Yeah. But
Nan
I mean,
should have been able to run away with her boo thing.
and also the fact that both of the people that were supposed to be leaders have all fucked over her. They've all fucked over her. I mean, just think about it. Like, Fiona's fucked over her.
Fucked her over, because it sounds like people are fucking over Queenie.
Well, you know,
like literally hunching over Queenie.
Like
Well,
how Cordelia
She did that
hunches.
to herself. She did that to herself. Remember that?
What? But-
Queenie, she did that to herself.
Well, but I'm just.
Wait, what did she do? Oh, you mean playing with her beef curtains?
You're a mess.
That's
Y'all
fucking
both are a
gross.
mess. Okay, but I'm just saying, for me,
Where's
and
the
in other
beef?
words, and you know what? You have to tell them, Poppy. Normally, when I predict something, is big things. I normally
Yeah, whenever he predicts stuff, the world listens
because I normally get it
true.
right. So I won't be
Okay,
shocked.
Mr. Warlock.
I won't
He
be
kind
shocked.
of is.
I won't be. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. So I don't want nobody saying, "Oh, you said it was going." to... No,
He
I'm
did
just saying-
predict that Queenie would be playing with her beef curtains.
No, he didn't.
You know, I said nothing about nobody's beef curtains because I don't do beef and tuna in that way. I prefer sausage.
Marshall was like, "Where's the beef?"
Disgusting. Okay, can it be over with, please? Because I'm like,
Poppy, I gotta
sick.
go too, Poppy.
Okay, so with that, join us next time for a brand new installment of Are You Afraid Coven? We will have new episodes every week that there's a new episode of American Horror Story Coven, so we are quickly wrapping up our season as American Horror Story Coven is wrapping up its season. Please like us on Facebook, facebook.com/PCR Are You Afraid? Once again, that's facebook.com/the letters PC and R, and then the words Are You Afraid? Also like Poppy Chulo Radio on Facebook by going to facebook.com/Poppy Chulo Radio. You can email us any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns at contact@poppychuloradio.com. Co-hosts wish the listeners a good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.
Bye.
Good night. I'm rocking my little black baby to sleep. Good night.